Welcome back to Redacted, formerly the Redacted podcast, now Cast Not Dead, the end of the FSR saga after our little holiday break, prolonged holiday break as the case may be. Happy New Year.
Yeah, happy New Year, everyone.
Yeah, sorry, I was dying the last week or so.
Yeah, we survived the Omicron Transformer variant.
I guess so. I have no idea what it was, but it was nasty.
So we're ideally going to finish the FSR saga today, even though it took us a year to get to the next episode and came back a year later.
Maybe we were just stuck in a hotel.
Exactly, the 17-day time loop. Cold breakfast.
A lot of planes.
And this is CJ. A lot of places floating. It's safe now. We can talk about that. Maybe.
Wait,
and this is your host, CJ. Yes, well, safer.
Okay, I was like, what? Did something happen recently?
Well, better than 2001.
Yeah, that's okay. That's what we're referring to. I thought something happened recently. I was like, wow, I'm really not catching up on current times.
The only thing I worry about on the plane is how the pilot uses the bathroom if he's locked in that chamber for 12 hours, but that's their problem, I guess. They make it work.
Yeah.
And this is your host, once again, CJ Wakura.
This is Infinite.
This is KamenSentai, no longer dying.
And this is Quill with the cat.
Yes, and we're working on giving the cat a mic. We're seeing if we can arrange that. The cat apparently has many theories to share, but we'll never know what they are.
We gotta learn cat language.
Yeah,
yes, the deepest cat lore.
So last time we left off with Sumio getting shot by Sundance.
Sumio getting shot in the face. Finally bridging some of the gaps. Finally get to see Sumio confront Sundance after Sumio takes a plunge off a cliff. Or the rooftop of the hotel, rather.
Yeah. If the bullet didn't kill him, the fall did.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure the bullet killed him.
It's fine.
Oh, yeah, it did. I'm just saying, bit of overkill that happened.
Is it weird? I can just picture, like, it cutting to Itoh, and he's, like, in the lobby. He just looks out, sees Sumio falling by the window. He's like, and goes back to business as usual.
Smithy's breakfast again.
Oh, well, breakfast is in the lobby. And now we go to Chapter 12, I Got Rhythm. And right from the get-go, we are seeing an unfamiliar face. It's not Sumio. We're chilling with a guy on a boat in a nice suit and a pair of glasses.
Isn't he also accompanied with the lady?
Yep.
Yes.
No, he's also got a woman companion in an equally striking suit. Yep. And apparently they're the team of FBI agents who've come to investigate the island. Remy Fazil and Yoshimitsu Koshimizu.
And Remy makes a statement about the island stinking of blood.
Yes. They feel the history of the island, and it's cursed. So what federal agents are doing in an island with questionable jurisdiction is beyond me.
Probably just a coincidence.
Also on arrival, they see a man in red with a briefcase running across a bridge.
Nothing suspicious.
It's probably
they decide to leave him be. Why would terrorists target an island, after all? And they're talking about an endless hidden war. But they're greeted by a body. Yes, I'm not sure what they mean by the endless hidden war. Is this more talking about like a CCO, FSO thing?
I think
from Silver Case? Or?
Probably something of the sorts, or maybe just like a poorly translated line.
This
Maybe
is
they're talking
the
about terrorism and justice.
Something
is
does
the
come up
US
in the
script,
next
right?
case.
Sorry?
This is the U.S. script. Yes. I'm pretty
Okay,
sure
yes.
I'm pretty sure this is the U.S. script that it's based on. This isn't the PAL version, which has a slightly better translation.
I've only played the
I've
US
never played
script.
the PAL version, by the way, so I'm going off my memories in the U.S. version. But if someone's played the PAL version and it clears it up, by all means.
I did. I don't remember all that much.
So, oddly enough, Itoh is waiting there with the body as well, which is a little unusual. He's like, "Welcome to the island. How do you like our bodies?"
Yeah, this is our new tourist attraction.
Yeah. And it's been there clearly at least well into the day because the murder happened at night, so they just left the body there waiting for the feds, I guess.
I mean, that is
Yeah.
what you're supposed to do, technically.
Exactly.
I think.
Yeah. Surprised the body's well intact.
Yeah.
Well, I
Considering the
mean,
gunshot and the fall, I don't think they wanted to render his head being split open. That would be a little much.
Oh god, you just made me think of Raid 2 now.
Yeah, but falling 6 stories or so, yeah, there would probably be some gives. Hate to say it.
Oh yeah.
Hitting a concrete floor, he would not be in a nice clean body like that.
Oh no. It's surprising the only blood is from his head.
Yeah, that's probably why the game's rated T. There's nothing else really objectionable in it.
It's
Aside from the exploding
Paradise.
planes.
Paradise can't be M-rated.
Of course not. And no one heard any gunfire.
it was a
And the
silencer.
hotel staff was... Actually, we heard the gunshot, didn't we? You can kind of loudly hear it go off.
Oh yeah, we heard it as the player, yeah. But Itoh says, yeah, no one heard anything.
You would think that Sundance would use a silencer, but maybe not.
Didn't he? I think he did.
I mean, even with a silencer, like, silencers do still make a loud noise.
Oh yeah, in actual real life, they still make a pretty loud sound.
And then we take control of Koshimizu. He cuts right to the chase. He accuses Itoh of doing it.
And Itoh
like,
just
"You did it,
immediately... Itoh's like, fuck you!
Yeah, and Itoh drops the smile. You can see it shifts to his other avatar where he's like, me? You think I'd be capable of this? You won't make any friends like that. Like, you can tell he's like, he drops the facade. He's like, okay, you want to play that game?
You play that game, buy a room.
Yeah. He's like, oh, he's like, any clues? You didn't ask. You're not a guest here. He's stonewalling them. Unless they're a guest.
Exactly. And essentially bribing the man. He does pay.
Mm-hmm. And the guy on the bridge is someone named Step. He has a mohawk.
We already met him.
We did, but we didn't really meet him, per se.
Yeah, he kind of just was in the background, just kind of.
We talked to him once, and he says,
and Itoh definitely knows of him.
Mm-hmm. Everyone knows Step.
Yeah, I was thinking like everyone in the island
everyone
knows
knows
that.
everyone on the island.
everyone on the island knows each other, actually.
Yeah.
Probably being pretty lucrative. The thief on a small island, an endless wave of tourists. It's like people who live and work on the Bahamas. They probably have a steady influx of money from unsuspecting tourists. And they're going to the shopping center, which is very likely where the suspicious robber went.
With a lot of walking.
Yes. Because it's also highly likely that he has Sumio's case. Or at least a case.
Yeah. And before entering the supermarket, we hear Koshimizu and Remy talking through walkie-talkies about Step. Apparently Step was from France originally?
And Remy wants a drink.
Oh yeah, the Dodge.
Yeah, we gotta talk about the drink.
Darjeeling, and she hates tea bags. That's made with mineral water.
The dialogue was a little different in the PAL version. She talks about how she hates alcohol and how do you call it? Drinks with gas. It's like she just wanted normal stuff.
I wonder. There's that person in the channel who's been doing videos of the PS2 version with the script. And I'm wondering, are they using the PAL version or are they using the US version?
I'm gonna ask after that. After this.
But yeah, that's a really cool series of videos. We'll probably link when we upload it because they were doing really cool work with some nice artwork too.
Yeah.
So the
Really
interesting
good.
thing to me is they're not working as a team while Yoshimizu is exploring the island. Remy says she's going to take care of the hotel, which don't exactly know how much she's going to accomplish in there with all the staff stonewalling her.
Just gotta buy a room, I guess.
Oh, and when Yoshimitsu enters the supermarket, we actually hear a familiar track from the Silver Case, if I remember correctly.
I do think that does happen.
I know George Gershwin's I Got Rhythm plays on the bridge. What track from Silver Case played? I vaguely recall what you're talking about.
I think the investigation one, like from
yeah, I think it was
El Kuzabi or something.
Oh no, that one plays later on.
Later on, okay.
Yeah, I think it happens with the dancing man.
Yeah, it happens exactly with the dancing man. I can't forget that scene, especially because it's like the worst chapter.
But what just occurred to me is Remy investigated the hotel and the rooftop that Sumio was killed from. Who was always on the rooftop that would have been a witness? Presumably.
Edo, Yayoi.
Yayoi.
Yayoi is who I was thinking of, but I don't think she's up there at night.
Nah, she's always just having a tan in the swimming pool. Highly doubt.
Yeah, so
she should be up at like midnight.
Not
or
much
something.
point. Exactly.
Well,
Yeah, so they
was
arrived
up in the roof originally, but all of a sudden that person vanished, and then Sundance.
Yes, and when they're at the shopping center, they mentioned Stepp is originally from France. And he's hiding in a very aggravating supermarket-looking place, which is presumably where even people who live on the island get their goods, or when you're running the hotel.
I think everyone, because like this is the only supermarket we come across.
Which makes me wonder, 'cause I was in the Bahamas last week, and I talked to some people who live there, and they're like, they come to the island during the day, and when they're done working, they fly back to the mainland, and like that's got to be an interesting lifestyle that you have to fly back and forth to work, and you work at a tourist trap where there's no restaurants, just the same food and the same stuff. That's got to suck.
Depends on like how far they have to fly.
And they don't even get like nice airfare. They have to fly in these little crappy planes that don't have the safest track record.
Oh,
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh, that's.
I already hate flying.
Yeah, paradise is not all it's cracked up to be.
It never is. It's a false utopia.
So eventually, you manage to corner Stepp in the shopping center. Oh, and also, at one point, Yoshimitsu mentions the teachings of his master, Assistant Commissioner Nakatagawa.
Yeah,
best character. Let's go.
The guy who wastes his check supporting cam girls who are not intentionally cam girling themselves.
The one and only.
Or also,
Yes.
who may or may not have been underage at that time.
Yeah, not problematic at all. That's a great master you got there. Of all the Silver Case characters to have as a mentor, it's Nakatagawa.
Hey, shitty person and just good mentor. That's different. You can split that. Learn the
fair enough. That's right.
learn the good, not what they are.
Yes. So manages to finally corner Stepp, and Stepp doesn't seem to have much in the way of answers.
No, he just
And
mostly kind of
apparently-
laughed at him.
And apparently, according to the French authorities, that's not Stepp.
Yeah, that's something.
It's
Which
a constructed strategic weapon that's a human bomb.
doesn't that seem familiar?
A bomb, to quote Deus Ex. And also, Remy still wants her Darjeeling.
Yes.
So,
I
even
guess
though you have to blow up, make sure you get my tea.
yeah. I
But
guess we
Steph
should probably
mentions that
rank this.
he.
Yeah, step.
Yeah, so he mentions that he willingly gave himself over to an upgrade. And then right before things escalate and he goes off, you notice he has a silver eye.
Really?
Yeah, it shines.
It zooms in on him for a split second and the eye shines. And then the
That's-
whole building blows up, and along with it, so goes the plane.
Oh, so that's what it is. I didn't think of it as Silver Eye.
Well, I mean, you won't really notice it because the powerful graphics of the DS.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
once he escapes from the wreckage of the building, we don't know if he got the Darjeeling or not. If that story even sells it.
Well, not anymore,
now
that's for sure.
And Toriko is chewing out Christina for running off, who's pissed off about having a stupid name.
Yeah, which apparently the alligator, this entire time when we thought with a name like Christina was a woman, and no, Chris is like, it's a dude. He's like, why you give me this name?
He sounds like a crossdresser. Also, Christina has a very creepy avatar. Like, he looks like he wants to eat you and everything you know and love.
It's a crocodile
Yeah.
or alligator. Of course it's going to eat you.
Yeah, you think they're going to be friendly, but nope, they will just eat you. And apparently, Christina's been following. So once they mention the name argument, he says the guy is up there and he's been following him. Presumably he's referring to Sundance?
Yes.
Probably, yeah.
That's the only one.
I forgot. These are the longest Toriko sections.
Yes, and Toriko confronts Sundance and says that she's here to kill him.
Well, name dropping Kamui of all
Yeah.
things.
He name drops Kamui.
Yes, and also accusing him of killing everyone's savior and crushing everyone's hopes. And also, I believe this is based on the PAL translation because she refers to him as a savior with the U, which is a very UK way of spelling.
Yeah, it is.
And Sundance says that he's going to reset everything again, to which Toriko says no resets, that she's going to kill him. He doesn't exist. He's not a terrorist. She doesn't need a sword. And Sundance is unfazed by all this. But then she says the big moment, I'm going to kill you, Kamui Uehara. And he doesn't know what she's talking about.
Everyone flips out.
Unless they
and then
didn't.
Sundance says, let's continue the show again. And we end chapter 12 with way more questions than answered.
Oh, yeah. Especially the whole Kamui name drop. Especially if he didn't play the silver case. It's like, who the fuck's Kamui?
Honestly, you might be less confused if you haven't played the silver case. You're just like, oh, okay, I guess this guy's Kamui. Whoever, that's his real identity. And
I guess,
Yeah, sometimes ignorance and less knowledge is
especially in
bliss.
this game. And interestingly, in our postscript, Itoh is apologizing for his previous rude attitude. So he settled down for a drink with 6 empty wine bottles, and now he feels better.
Damn.
Wow.
damn, dude, hold his liquor.
I'm not a doctor, but I'm pretty sure that's going to lay you up. Something fierce.
Edo's
Yeah,
all
so-
powerful, including his alcohol tolerance.
Yes. So now, in the start of chapter 13, I'm almost certainly going to pronounce this wrong. La Fille au Chevaux de Lin.
Let me see. Let's all try to say it. La Filu Stilin. Yeah, I definitely said it wrong.
Yeah, the X is silent, I believe, so Chevaux.
Oh, shit.
I'm going to France in a couple months, so I better practice that if I don't want to look like a filthy gaijin.
You
See if
will.
the French have an equivalent for a gaijin is whatever that is. And so this is the music we'll be hearing on Aleki Island. I'm not familiar with the song, to be honest, but so Remy's starting to piece together there's illegal trafficking going on, and they're talking about the Euro Mass Pro iceberg. A European branch of Mass Pro, presumably?
I think so. That's probably where I got the French stuff thing.
Yeah, so apparently Europe's got their own Mass Pro thing going. Hence why they have Step involved, and they've been sacrificing children and remaining in the shadows. Presumably, this is the secret war they're referring to.
Yeah,
Which makes me wish we had an
children.
FSR. Yeah, so it makes me wish we had a Kill the Past game set in Europe. That would be interesting.
Yeah, maybe we will at some point. We do have a game called Hotel Barcelona coming up soon.
Are they actually making that?
They haven't started
I think-
anything. They're just like having phone calls like, "Hey, we should make this game," and they're like, "Yeah." That's it.
I think
Yeah,
it'll
well-
come to be.
Two craziest devs who drink lots. What could possibly go wrong?
3 crazy devs. Toyama could be part of it at some point too.
Oh boy, yeah. I don't know. Typically, when you have two crazy people like that working together, it's either going to go great or it's going to be a complete biblical disaster. Either way, it'll be interesting.
I think
That's what I'm saying. Yeah.
I think it's gonna be great, but it's just gonna be incomprehensible.
Like you either get
I mean,
Chrono
that's what I
Trigger
expect.
or Killer 7, which would be nice.
Well, with Killer 7, it definitely was pure Suda. Shinji Mikami just kind of made sure Suda stayed there.
Yeah, Shinji
Yeah,
Mikami only just said
definitely-
to cut certain things, and that was it. He didn't do
Absolutely, but-
anything else.
I think Mikami deserves a lot of credit because if Mikami hadn't ensured Suda had full creative control, it would have turned out completely different, I think.
Oh yeah, I give Mikami full credit that Mikami knew Suda 100%. He was like going like, "You need to stay in this seat. Do not leave. If you leave,
Yeah, like he told. Yeah, and Suda's biggest props was he protected him from the suits at Capcom, and he also told him, "You're going to write everything. Don't let anyone else write it."
yeah." He's a stern boss from the sounds of it.
Yeah, which probably I'm guessing working on a big sprawling game like Killer 7 compared to an intimate game like FSR, he probably felt overwhelmed with all the writing he had to do. It's a very
Yeah,
ambitious game, narratively.
There are stories when Suda was trying to give someone else some work, and Mikami's like, "No."
Yeah, and it's all the stronger for it. That game is pure unfiltered Suda.
Mm-hmm.
So now we're playing as Remy, who's actually investigating the hotel, and she cuts right to it with going after the maid staff. And Madi is Step's mother.
Oh god, this
And-
game. Mati was freaking the hell
Well,
out.
technically, Step's stepmother.
Oh right.
Yeah, stepmother. Oh, nice little pun there. She's the stepmother.
Oh, he
That's
is.
something that would
Oh,
only
wow.
work in English. And so he's caught up in an explosion, and she's like, "What?" She's like, "Oh, there's no need for concern. It wasn't him. It was just a bomb construct."
And then
And
later on,
Maddie's-
Mati does break her act, and she goes like, "Okay, Elki Island, go there."
Yep. Go to Eleki Island, you'll understand. She doesn't change her expression like Edo does, but that kind of makes it creepier. She still has that eerie smile.
I think it's
Eleki
just because they
Island
don't have a
awaits her.
portrait of her, like, being silent or something.
And Remy gets to go into the actual building. And is it just me or does the architecture of this building look very Silver Case-ish?
Oh
It does.
Yeah.
Looks like the cauliflower
Like the cold blue
from
and gray.
Maddox.
Yeah.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised
Yeah.
if Smash Pro is connected with a certain group from the Silver Case.
And yeah, when you go down to the basement, like the look of everything, very FSR-ish. Like right, like the perspective is like reminds me of a lot of stuff from Whiteout and Blackout.
Yeah. Oh, especially most of the long hallways reminds me of, especially in Silver Case where you're going through those, the escalator kind of thing. Yeah, the escalator kind of place where you're just moving automatically.
And she notifies Koshimizu that they're underground and they find a big electrical plant. And beyond the door, there's a big white room with a lot of numbers.
Everyone's worst enemy is math.
Math puzzle from hell. But what's interesting here is Remy mentioned she took a doctorate in advanced mathematics.
Yeah, but we didn't.
Apparently she... Yeah, so... Is she a doctor, or did she try to get a doctorate? And
Well,
by the way, getting to be...
she doesn't, like, no one calls her a doctor, so I presume she just applied and tried, but, like, quit or something?
Yeah.
She knows her
Although I
math.
will say,
College dropout.
to be a Fed, you do need some serious educationals. Like, they're not going to hire you as a Fed if you just have a bachelor's. At the very least, you're probably going to need a master's to be a Fed.
Oh yeah.
So,
Oh yeah, 100%. You definitely need to know your shit.
yeah, Feds don't hire people willy-nilly. You're going to... So, most people have at least masters, if not doctorates.
Or have crazy
So,
dreams
yeah.
about that.
You have to add up the numbers to make 100.
And yeah, there was
Using-
like a negative, plus, plus, and plus.
Yeah, just looking over this puzzle makes my head hurt. I couldn't tell you how I solved it or if I solved it on my own.
I never
Now you
saw it on
find-
my own.
So once you solve the puzzle from hell, you're in a very long tunnel of washing machines. Not really. They look like washing machines, but they're actually looks kind of like a coroner's office. Like they're all storing bodies.
Yeah. Which
This
surprise!
is where Step was born.
Yep.
They're nothing
Dark
more than
bodies.
backups. And she finds a duplicate of herself, which would freak the hell out of me.
Yeah,
Even
she
the
just-
shock body tells Remy tells Remy to run.
and she
Yeah.
says the thing. She says, "Kill your past."
Let's get out of here. And then she remembers everything started from there. And farewell, paradise.
Boom.
And then we get a flashback? Like we're seeing... It shows we get another scene, and this time with tour after the plane explodes over the islands. We're getting a different scene of Sundance confronting Sumio. Except I believe this is from a different perspective. Initially, it was from Sumio's perspective, who's as baffled as we are, but this seems to be either from Sundance or Toriko's perspective.
Oh, you mean you see the shooting, right?
Yes, the shooting. We're back on the rooftop with Sundance, Sumio, and Toriko. Also,
Oh,
notably,
yeah.
Sundance has a different avatar. And it's not in the summary. There's actually a link posted to it at the end, which I'll share. The ending of R13. He mentions that he has a role of an assassin. You also get a different avatar of Sundance, interestingly enough. More pencil
Yeah.
one.
Reminding me of Sundance, and I want to bring this up then too because of those stock bodies Remy was talking to. They're literally called Sundance MIC,
Ah, yes.
which that's kind of
We'll get more. We definitely get more of Sundance later on.
Yeah, I just want to kind of bring it
So-
up since we're stock bodies and all that fun.
So Sundance and Toriko have their argument about their having. She warns him that if he kills Sumio, he'll disappear, and he says, "We'll make a pact. If he can find me, you'll win, and if not, he'll disappear and he wins." And it's whether or not Sumio can find Sundance. So these two seem to have like a kind of a Harmon Smith Kun Lun thing going.
Yeah.
Like they're immortal
Yes,
beings
yeah.
dueling over the ages.
I think Toriko's
And then she
immortal.
pull the trigger and we'll start again. And all of this, you see Sumio shoot himself.
Oh yeah, that's right.
Like
Well,
they're not
definitely-
there anymore.
And just crash into bed.
And
He's back
definitely
in
need
the
some
bed.
time to talk about like Sundance and Toriko. Cause
Yeah,
they're confusing
Raises so many
a lot.
questions.
Well, if I would put anything in perspective, I'm what Johnny said before when Suda pretty much goes like the Tsubasa reservoir system stuff, where characters may look the same, but could not be those said characters. Especially if we're in this weird paradise world, which I'll get to my more theory at the end, but I do think this construct of this paradise is definitely manipulated accidentally.
On that note, is this really Kusabi's daughter, or is this something using her body? Is this like a facade or depiction of her?
Oh,
Yeah,
If so,
that's what I'm saying, yeah, and I think I do have an answer to that, but we'll get to that when we actually hit the ending.
after Sumio throws himself off the roof, Chris and Toriko are having an argument, and I'm going to call him Chris from henceforth out of respect for his dislike of Christina. Actually, I think Toriko realizes that too. She starts calling him Chris.
Yeah.
They're debating whether or not Sumio is really their savior and whether or not he can throw open the world. Like, are they... Is this like a simulation they're trapped inside? But Sumio says it's time for Mondo to awaken, which the heavy foreshadowing here is that we're going to be getting back to Sumio.
And then Toriko blows up the plane.
Yep. And your cat agrees. Thanks for the insight. What's your cat's name?
My cat?
Yes.
Can you guess?
Kusabi.
My cat?
I mean, it has something related to Suda.
Travis.
Close. She's a girl.
Sylvia.
Sorry?
Sylvia?
Nope.
Sylvia,
Shinobu.
I guess.
There's already a cat in the Sudaverse. It's Jean. Come on,
Oh,
guys.
Gene.
Oh,
How can he forget?
These
Hey.
tales.
Hey, that Gene is a
These
guy.
eyes.
I mean, no. Are you
Oh,
tweaking?
yeah, so that's kind of similar to the Christina thing too. Give the cat a girl's name.
I don't know.
And then
Because the whole Jean thing,
FSR.
it's really fucking confusing. Because, like, she even called herself a she in Travis Strikes Again, and, like, she had a girl voice in Travis Strikes Again. I don't know why they chose a male voice. I think
yeah,
it's just,
no idea either.
think about it. It will be funny.
that's literally it. That's why Suda picked it. I'm pretty sure that's the reason.
I think it's an he must have just thought of an FSR callback. I think, and it's like, yeah, this would be funny.
So now we get to Edo's postscript, and he's saying, "Welcome back." Just who's Remy, do you think? Maddie seems to be related to the island. Quite a coincidence, huh? Very interesting. Well, it seems you're alive again. I'll be waiting with a smile at the front desk. Everything's fine.
Nothing happened at all.
No shootings. No, not at all.
Yes, and sure enough, at the start of part 14, Tramore, I'm probably saying that wrong, we're back to Sumio. His breakfast is ready. He just woke from a long dream. But yes, Catherine is gone.
Oh yeah, we are still
And-
dealing with that.
And also, Sumio asks Edo to tell him what happened, and this really will take a while. Fade to black, and presumably 10 hours later, Sumio finally understands. The island is trapped in a loop, and he died. You think he'll just accept it? Of course, he's a simple fellow, but he has the greatest respect for him. Stop the plane from exploding and everything will become clear. But he's been slacking off for 2 whole chapters, so now he's got to run all over the place.
Yeah, this is the worst
Fine.
chapter.
This chapter.
It's the worst chapter in the entire
He is not
game.
lying. You're going to have to work.
And it's especially bad if you're playing it on a DS emulator and don't know about that certain glitch.
Yeah. Oh.
Because there's a glitch.
Oh lord.
Because there's a glitch with this chapter. It's the worst chapter. It's the longest and most annoying chapter, and it's funny because at the end of the chapter, there's a single glitch that will happen if you like use the save stat during the chapter, and it will just freeze the game. So you have to either load a previous save stat if you have one, or load the game from the beginning of the chapter and suffer again.
Ooh.
But it's only for the US version or something? Or is this on the PAL? Look, we'll find out because a friend of mine is playing on the PAL version, so...
Tell him to use a save
be
state,
interesting.
don't tell him about the glitch.
Always use save states. So Sumio finds Remy outside, and they introduce each other, but they're off to a bad foot because Remy says that beauty's her primary weapon, which she considers sexual harassment. And then it's a stretch, but okay. And then she bounces back with some racism, saying you people from the Far East are so disliked. Wow. Okay.
My well-learned Eastern friend.
Yeah, you would think someone from France would be more cool, Japan, considering how much tourism there is between the two
Oh,
countries.
no.
But
French people hate everyone, even French people.
that sucks. Looking forward to going to France and hopefully not encountering human bombs.
Don't get excited. Trust me.
Well, hopefully I'm just gonna see the museums, and I've already scouted out some really cool retro import shops there too. So, yes, I'm going across the Atlantic Ocean to look at import games. But hey, it's Paris.
Yeah, I've been there twice. It's a really beautiful city, but the people, man, just avoid them.
Well, that's the same in Tokyo. Tokyo people are not very hospitable either. They don't ever talk to you. So I'm used to that. Maybe it's for the best.
Yeah, fair enough, I guess.
So Remy asks if he's familiar with Euro Mass Pro, and he has no idea. So he's the legendary savior of the island, and this is a type of game. So this is getting very meta. Each time you take a break, the world closes down with you. Like they know they're trapped in a game.
Yeah, wouldn't be the first and wouldn't be the last.
So the island is calling for help. And which actually fits with the best way to play the game. I usually suggest that people playing this game should take a break after each chapter. Don't try to speedrun FSR. Take a break after each chapter, let it permeate.
Oddly enough, I do know of a Suda speedrunner out there, Adrian VG, I think his name is.
Oh god, I can't even imagine trying to speedrun FSR. That would be one of the most boring speedruns ever.
Well, I never
And I've seen speedruns of Golden Sun.
I never did a speedrun of the game, but I did like beat the game twice in a single setting, but that's about it.
Like just hack the game so you always have the bike. So she mentions the 11 Children of Revolution, the 11 Companions, which that would line up to the number of chapters we've had playing Sumio thereabouts.
I don't think so.
No, was it
No,
a
I
13th
think
chapter?
these 11 children are other characters.
Okay, it's the Aleki kids. They show
Even
up.
though this is 14, 12 and 13 we were playing as Remy and Koshimizu, so 14, there were 11 Sumios prior to this, if you think about it.
Yeah, but I do think the Aleki kids are referred to as the 11 kids, like they're all separate characters. Because I remember in Suda AMA, he straight up even said that we do not know all the identities of these children, or if we haven't even met them all yet.
Yeah, if I remember correctly, we only met like 4 of them.
Yeah.
But in all
Remy-
likelihood, it's just a coincidence.
Probably could be Remy, Koshimizu, and then the two people that got married. I think they're referred to as the four
Yes.
we knew in FSR. And now we
And the
should know
shelter
one
kids.
bit
Is there,
So yes, and now he's
weren't the people marrying shelter kids, or
They didn't mention
They
that,
mentioned they were
but
children.
it seems like the Euro Mass Pro seems to be a very similar situation because kidnapping children.
so also the briefcase. A young man named Step stole it, and they're trying to get his property back. This is when Sumio finally meets Koshimizu, and he refers to Remy as paranoid, which that tracks with her all of a sudden thinking that she's being actually harassed for being complimented. And they also mention that the 11 that Koshimizu mentions, and they'll meet again at the goal. Then we see another businessman with glasses.
Here
Gunzi
we go.
Takawaka.
This guy is strange. He starts rambling and talking about him needing to talk clearly and laughing about Gemma and Washi and Lady Natsuko. Very strange character.
Oh yeah, he's probably the strangest character in this game, and that is saying something.
Yes. He's met Mr. Takoka. Mitsukai is staying in room 408. And yes, he's got his briefcase back, which is nonchalantly laying in the middle of the road after the longest walk in the long sordid history of long FSR walks. What I wouldn't give for that bicycle.
Oh, we'll get to it soon.
And we meet Mitsukai in room 408. Natsuko with a thing for purple, apparently. And she's not very talkative.
Get the very
Talking about radio.
vibes.
Radio mixes in a porter. Is this like a Death Stranding thing?
I mean,
this is the first Strand type game.
Yeah, the first walking simulator.
So apparently, she's interested in music, and Itoh helps Sumio by taking him to presumably there looks like a communications room.
I think that's what it was.
Probably studio or
It's
something.
like they're listen. Oh, it's like a listening room, I guess, where you can listen to music.
Yeah.
Kind of seems like it. Like, you know, kind of an isolated room with really good acoustics and a lot of records.
I think the room
And naturally, the
was just
radio
like
should spark you.
wasn't the room that the radio was in was just like a back room.
Mm-hmm. Like, yeah. I think it's the room behind the front desk.
Yeah, I think it's just like a lounge or something for workers to stay in.
Yeah, like a break room, I guess. That's why
Yeah.
Itoh has it under the secret break room. So
Maybe
naturally,
that's
the radio
why-
should spark you.
Yeah, maybe that's why Itoh, when he walks out that one time, says, "I hate you," because maybe he was just taking a break.
He was chilling with his music. One place where he feels safe with his multiple bottles of wine.
Oh, yeah, where are the wine coolers in that area?
Wow, I can only imagine. So they mentioned the radio program guide in the guidebook with the 10,000 steps to help you lose weight, which I'm sure would. And now you solve the puzzle, which will take you back to Takoka. This is a very long day.
So
You have to go back out, and there's a bicycle waiting for you, thank God.
Wow, it wasn't waiting for you, but you take it anyway. So
sure.
fuck N.
I mean, that bicycle gag's probably my favorite joke out of all Suda games, honestly.
Oh, it's so good.
Yeah. Sumio's like, you know what, screw you. Give me the damn bike. I mean, he just takes the bike and goes. He's like, I'm not walking all that way again. And then we find Gunzi. I don't know how to describe this.
I guess jazzercising.
He's dressed like Rei Ayanami.
Oh my god, he is! I just realized that! I even mentioned the Ray thing with his goddamn girl, and oh my god, he is wearing the white and blue. Oh my! I thought it was just workout gear, to be honest, but oh my god.
Even Sumio says, why are you dressed like that? Are you trying to get into cosplay?
Oh, that's
oh god. Damn, how did that... Oh, that flew right over my head.
And Gunzi's like, but he says it's not cosplay. He gets offended by it, so...
And I think this is where the Silver Kiss music plays.
It's not a phase, Mondo.
You know what? Come to think of it, when you go back to Natsuko, doesn't she kind of look like Rei?
I mentioned that, yeah. She has Rei vibes.
Yeah, she's got the gray hair, the taciturn vibe. And she tells him to shut up, and all of a sudden she wants to listen to jazz. Now you have to find the jazz radio station. These are actually some of the easier puzzles. Not that hard at all.
Yeah, not really. It's actually kind of
walking.
And stealing bikes.
Yes. And then back to Gunzi again. Oh my god, I don't even...
Can we fast forward this chapter?
No, we have to. He is wearing a bikini, okay? It is striped. It is purple with yellow stripes. He looks great in it.
He's wearing slippers. You can't forget the slippers.
Oh god, that's the worst part of it all. Fucking slippers. At least it's not sandals. If it was sandals, I would just shoot him.
And Sumio has one of the best lines. He just says, "Listen, mister, I'm going to punch you in the face. Please, dude."
Yeah, he never does.
He wants her to
punch the child.
Tell Natsuko the feelings of Gunzi Takuoka. Has his feelings reached her? The Cupid arrow. And he's taking advantage of Ken's bike, but screw Ken. Back to Natsuko. And now she just wants memories. So, as you can tell, we're really glossing over a lot of walking.
A lot of cycling.
That too. A lot of travel. Back to the radio station for memory.
Part of the game.
Yes. And, of course, Itoh knows all about the bikes riding. But he should know taking the easy route would only spoil him. Itoh gets all the cool lines. Not wrong. He does get a lot of the best ones.
I mean, yeah. I mean, that's why this character has lived on for so long.
Ken's not even going to bother trying to stop him. He just takes the bike and goes.
Yeah, Ken's disappointed.
And now he's got a rabbit. Suda, please lay off the acid. It's not good for you. The last sight of the bike. Akai went to the cinema. Wonder what kind of movies they show in FSR anyway. Aside from the old... Well, we know they show the old classics and the... What's her face? Oh, the front line in Louisiana. I'm sure they show that all the time.
Oddly enough,
And
kind of
they're
remind me of
pumpkins.
in the guidebook for that puzzle when we get to the theater, in that page, there's a very kind of Garcia and Smith kind of guy looking.
You mean
And Tonight?
Yeah.
Oh,
In
right.
the Tonight picture. And also, doesn't the girl in 1979, avoiding the obvious Smashing Pumpkins references, she looks like a character from the Texas chapter in Killer 7.
Yeah, she's the store clerk. Yeah, very similar. Even has me kind of what's that noodle sleeve thing kind of slink down too.
A bizarre love triangle. Gee, that's a subtle reference. That would be natural 80s rock, which is also one of the chapter drops in Silver Case, I believe, uses Bizarre Love Triangle. Then you go to the theater, which is actually a very nice theater. It's really nice. It's huge, actually.
Be sure not to use a save state inside of it.
For some reason, you see that they're together. He's watching movies with Netsuko. There's no accounting for taste.
Yeah,
whatsoever.
He gives me such ugly bastard vibes.
Oh, God.
This kind of makes me think of those freaking, what do they call them? The sugar daddy thing in Japan where they hire the young girls.
Sugar
That's
daddies.
kind of the vibe it gives.
Oh, God, yeah.
I hope I'm wrong, but that's the vibe it gives me.
I mean, I don't know. Because she does look like she loves him.
She seems like she's just playing along, but then she says the dearest memories of meeting you. So, but I mean, they tell them sometimes they hire girls to say stuff. So I'm probably reading too much into this.
Yeah, I don't know.
Hopefully, I'm not too jaded.
Just focus on the movie with the man and the alien.
Yes, they're watching their movie and they're very happy. So she does seem genuinely happy after time passes, but even Sumio says, like, there's something wrong with this picture. Like, something don't seem right here.
Hey, at least it's not NTR. Let's just say that.
Yeah, you know what? Live and let live. You're both adults. Whatever.
Like, peacing out here.
So,
doesn't the plane explode in the movie then?
The two proceed to make out in the movie theater while the movie plays in the background.
And then you crash.
Yep. And then it gets stuck in that single kiss. The kiss that breaks the game.
The plane explodes in the movie.
Simple
Whoa,
as
alien.
And Itoh comments are making excellent progress.
I don't remind me.
He also mentions
the shot of the plane exploding in the movie. It looks like it's shot from the diner.
It's an in-game footage that was just like plastered into the movie.
Yeah,
might be. There's an interesting line from Itoh in the epilogue. He mentions that he has bosses calling from one thing above and staff from below. Like he's playing for two masters. Bosses from above and staff from below. Like he has to do someone's bidding while keeping track of the staff. Itoh apparently has a lot on his plate. You were commenting on something else? I believe you were saying something about the ending with the plane in the diner?
Yeah, I was saying, like, it looks like it's shot from the diner.
Mm-hmm.
Like Mati's restaurant, which I kind of felt like, that's kind of weird. Who's shooting that?
Itoh.
Yeah, it's like Itoh, or maybe one of the staff, maybe what's his face, Sadie could have been doing it, or the dude who runs the bar.
I was thinking of Shotaro's dad because we first meet him there.
Possible.
Also, I just don't like those two, so I just want to blame them for everything.
That works. And I really feel like I have to practice my French to enunciate these chapter titles. So, l'après-midi d'une femme. Yes,
Yeah.
I French good. And we come to another morning. Breakfast is ready in the lobby. And Sumio's slowly starting to piece things together that time is being controlled somehow. And the guidebook was written with his visit to the island directly in mind. Correct me if I'm wrong, but there wasn't was there a Toriko part after that? I don't believe there was.
I can't remember. I'm gonna double check.
Been a few months since the last.
I checked the ending and I didn't see it. I don't believe there's a Toriko chapter after that.
Yeah, no, you're
No,
no,
there
you're
wasn't.
right.
I think she's isn't present like in these late chapters.
And
Yeah, I
then
don't think we
something
hear much
really
now.
strange. And
Oh, yeah,
then while you're
Itoh.
talking to Itoh, he all of a sudden he starts acting strange.
Stranger.
Stranger. He created the guidebook as insurance according to the plan, doing things that have nothing to do with what he hired him for. And then he mentions that he's the terrorist who planted the bomb on the plane. That he's been a puppet all along. There is no one called Itoh. He is really Thud. Itoh drops like a pack of bricks. And Sue steps in. Now it's to her
Promotion,
advantage. She's become the manager. Instant promotion. It's one of the most, alternately one of the coolest and weirdest moments in the game. She just steps in like, this is fine. I'm the boss now. Look at me. I'm the captain. So now we get to go back out and investigate for the lovebirds waiting in the wheat field. And they start talking about a garden of confusion, paradise for flowers. Also, now all of a sudden, Natsuko's become very talkative, and she has a different avatar too.
Yeah.
The forest navigators. And you have to do the scarecrow.
Yeah, the
puzzles.
Scarecrow. I love this one. These are fun. Because they're like
these are like
bosses.
they talk to you like you're in Dragon Quest.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Mondo receives rambling data. Mondo's stamina is low. Mondo has 200 experience to the next level.
It kind of reminds
Dragon
me of
Quest.
Yeah, other than Dragon Quest, it reminds me of the Kirby moment with the RPG boss you fight there. Because there's just so much nonsense just thrown at you, and you win.
Yeah. As someone whose first RPG was Dragon Warrior, this is kind of near and dear to me. It's very reminiscent. So Mondo receives rambling data, earned a lot of experience. By the way, do you guys think we're going to be able to finish FSR today? Because we're still into... We still got 3 or so chapters to go, and they're the heaviest ones.
We can just
We
rush.
can.
We can rush them. We can rush this chapter. The next we can just think, like, go through the big thing that happens. And
We can go for the other hour. We can do this.
Yeah. Even less. Like, we can...
Yeah, we're getting to the end game. Things are coming to a head.
What chapter are we in right now?
15.
We are on... This is chapter 15.
Out of
We got
20,
3 more.
right?
Yes.
Wait,
Yeah,
out
we
of
can
20
do
or
it.
out of 18?
18.
18? Oh no,
Yeah,
yeah, we
18.
can easily do it.
Yep. So the scarecrows keep talking in more cryptic phrases as Sumio goes through more mazes, and eventually there's Step. The real Step? Maybe? This one
Maybe.
seems more cryptic. Belief consumes the believer. The honest will be duly punished. One bush with 2 birds. And do we want to talk about the theory regarding Step?
Yeah.
That's...
I think we can
Yeah.
easily glance over that too, because the whole Step is a mirror, which, if you don't know who a mirror is, close your ears, because this is going to be Killer 7 spoilers. Amir Parkriner is a big assassin character in Killer 7 brought up, who ends up being Garcian Smith in the end.
Well, I mean, he's also
Or is
Garfield Smith in the
Garcian
beginning.
Amir?
Because Travis,
Oh, yeah.
in the beginning of Killer 7, Travis even calls you Amir.
No, he calls you Emir.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
So I personally don't subscribe to that theory. I think it's either a reference or like maybe a European version. Maybe it's a mass pro thing, like they're trying to reproduce Amir.
Personally, I think it was like he was supposed to be Amir, but then like he didn't want to touch on Flower Sun and Rain that much. That's why he kind of removed, Sundance and all that stuff, since he wanted to be for a Western audience. So I think that's why.
Then again, you have the chapter where Itoh literally shows up. So
I think that's
who
just
knows?
like a little callback. That's about it.
Well, Edo also does mention that there is no Edo. So maybe there's a bunch of stock bodies of this hotel staff member.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, I think he was supposed to be Garcian, but he isn't anymore.
Right. So we come to the main area of the ruins, and we find Natsuki dressed like a nurse, I believe.
Yep. More cosplay.
And
God damn it.
she gets offended, saying that it's not cosplay. She is actually a nurse. And then she wants him to go take care of Lady Ritz. And he has no idea who that is. And she's like a goddess, and he must meet with her. Where is the goddess? In the next day. And she will show you there. And then the plane explodes. And then we get one of my favorite epilogues in the entire game. No more Itoh. Su Siding is the boss.
Yeah, that was really cool seeing her.
Welcome back. My apologies. The manager has vanished. Has he crawled off and died? We don't really care, do we? I'm Su Siding, the new manager. Fuck that guy. She doesn't say it, but she may as well.
Do supremacy.
But yeah, she's like, at this point, she's fucking mask off. I've had enough of the maid job. The old woman in the dreadlock kid can pick up the slack. I'm happy with my promotion. I'll be waiting with a smile at the front desk. I love it.
I'm with her. Hey, fuck that kind of job.
Yeah, I mean, you were a maid at that place, and all of a sudden you're the boss? I wouldn't look back either.
Get the corpse story at it. Fuck him.
Exactly. And I bet the body's still sitting there. She probably just kicked it under the desk.
Taxidermy.
Fight the power, sister. And on that note, we are at part 16. Oh, Lord, I'm going to try my best. Paven pour un infant defunte. That sounds more like Creole in French.
I think the E at the end is silent.
Defunt?
Yeah, probably.
In food?
Defunt? I don't know. I French good. If any French people are listening to this, I'm sorry. Please don't come after me when I visit your country. I'm just there to look at museums and anime. Not in that order. So Sumio wakes up the next day with an engaged beeping. And who's waiting for him but none other than Sundance Shot himself?
Just walks
Asking
in.
for his help. Yep, just walks in, like chilling on the chair, like, hey, how's it going?
Who the fuck are
Find
you?
me and release. We don't know either. Find him and release him from the toilets and release the island.
I do love that Sundance just goes like, you don't remember? Remember what? No matter.
Yeah, no, don't worry about it. It's fine. But it feels like he has more power to confront him directly because Toriko doesn't seem to show up at this time. So maybe he has power over things she doesn't, and vice versa. Maybe the crocodile's her proxy. Maybe the crocodile can do the stuff she can't. That's why Chris was able to follow Sundance.
Yeah.
So
All powerful Chris.
If he can find Sundance, the bomb will be defused. He'll be waiting in the airport. BJ-210, and the explosion is a warning. Don't trust the manager. The same day isn't being repeated, and you're just releasing the program. The truth about us, that he's a child of the 11. The mystery of the dice lies in the tradition of the ruins. Apparently, Sundance is a tabletop die. How is that a 10-sided die, by the way?
Don't ask me.
Yeah. I don't even know. But apparently, die is a thing.
This is some advanced Dungeons and Dragons shit I have never seen.
Yeah. I actually figured this puzzle out when I saw that it was actually a math puzzle, and that was pretty cool.
Oh yeah, this is a caveman drawing and stuff like that.
Yeah.
That was a cute one.
Yeah. At first, I was like, 8 plus 6 is 14? No, it's one digit. Yeah, it just screws with your head.
Yeah.
And thankfully, it's one digit, so you can just brute force it if you want.
Oh, yeah.
I did that in Silver Case when I played it Japanese. Fun times.
Oh, God.
Oh, that puzzle. So now we're back at the ruins with Hana and Sundance Ritz. One of the strangest characters in FSR, if not the strangest. She's talking about the children.
Funny man.
The child that vanished into the light, the sarcastic child, the child she can't recall. Like, these feel like they could all be referring to people we know.
Well, some of them are.
Oh yeah.
Hold
And
on.
now to this day, a lot of the fans try to see if we can know any of these children from
The child's wearing a lovely uniform. Who could that be? Could that be Sue? She looks well. She's running the hotel. How's Edo doing? Sue doesn't answer. She don't give a fuck.
I mean, there are 4 confirmed children, like you said, Sumio, Remy, Yoshimitsu, and Step. So the first child looks so sad. We also did have
a recent thing in No More Heroes 3.
Oh,
that is a whole another can of worms.
Oh yeah.
Maybe we'll get more into that when we do Killer 7. By the way, is that the plan? Do we do Killer 7 from here?
Yeah.
It's the next one, so yeah. And then we can do 25th Ward.
By the way, with Killer 7, to do it justice, I'm probably going to replay the games. I haven't played it in a while. I love Killer 7.
Same. It's like one of
like, that's not a game.
Yeah, I replayed
FSR,
it like Apple.
But Killer 7 is a very... In fact, what we might do is, I'm debating, like, I might do a thing where, like, I'll play Killer 7 and we'll talk about it while we play it. As maybe, like, and then we'll jot down ideas for the actual podcast.
If that's the case, then we can just do... Then Killer 7 is going to be probably a long one, since we'll do 1 or 2 chapters of it.
Or it could just take a while for us to do it.
Or we could do a special where, like, we talk about it as we play it, and then also do a podcast discussing it. We could do, like, both.
Yeah.
Go Suda's best games. Go all in on it.
Are we all going to play it, or are we watching someone play? So we're going to do
No, I would play it myself.
Okay.
I'll take time to hone in on details. When I play a game like that, I don't like to run past stuff. I'll, like, look around and explore it. So we can, like, really, to quote Umineko, tear its guts open and really explore it.
So you'll stream it and we're talking as we're going?
Pretty much, yeah. We discuss it as we play it, and then we can do a postscript about that chapter. Like, we'll do probably a chapter one sitting. Like, I figured Killer 7 would probably be a 7-parter.
Yeah.
Oh,
yeah.
Most likely.
Each chapter. That's something we would take its time on, and I think it deserves it.
Oh, yeah, it does. It's the most complex and confusing game of them all.
By a mile. But it is pure unfiltered Suda, and I love it for that. So now we're back to Sue. She's telling Sumio that Lady Ritz is awoken at the cottages, and he's at fault for wanting to know the truth of the mysteries, and that's why she's awoke. And Sue is the medium of the island, and it's her role to inform him. So now he has to go to the cottages, and Lady Ritz is there with her nurse.
Well, first, for the cottage scenes, Ritz comes out of the water, doesn't she?
Yeah,
Yes, I think she literally just rolls out of the water. And by the way, this strikes me as this is probably where you would stay on the island if you got, like, stupid money.
Oh, yeah.
Like, you know how you go to the beach and they have the cottages for rent and you can pay, like, hundreds of dollars to rent your own cottage? This is, like, where you stay if you've got that kind of stupid money. You're on that. Yeah, you're like Elon Musk balling it on FSR.
Ritz got her I'm about to die money.
Pretty much. And so she asks if he's coming to the new world and to wash clean the island. Then you're back at the ruins with a crest that you have to decipher. And now you finally get to use the math puzzle. 8 plus 6 is 14.
Math finally works.
Yes. And now we come to the end of chapter 16.
This is my absolute favorite ending.
The pillar turns into a freaking...
It reminds me of those.
call.
It reminds me of those things from Evangelion. Those weird white things.
It's like a gigantic mecha kaiju Eva thing. And it fires a freaking Gundam cannon across the island and blows open an entrance.
And then it just had to blow up the plane because of course.
Yes, and then it fires another shot and overkills to blow up the entire plane. Of all things, it reminds me of... If anyone saw the Formers, the very first one, it reminds me of Megatron's badass Gundam cannon he pulls out near the end of the fight.
Oh, yeah.
It is a silly movie, but it is made by a mecha fanboy, so I appreciate it for that.
That movie's great.
It's really just unadulterated Michael Bay plus mecha, and I love it for that. And we're back to Sue. Now she asks if you understand the secret of the island. Fate's controlling you, and when Lady Ritz awakens, the nightmare will come again. They will not overlook her revival, and she cannot protect her. Please protect her until we meet again. This is starting to seem kind of creepy. What do they mean by the nightmare? And now we're coming to the climax, part 17.
This chapter is so good.
This has the best music track. The best music track.
This is probably the best chapter in the game. I think most would agree.
Yeah.
This chapter sells the whole game.
Because again, it has everyone's favorite character.
And now Sumio is enjoying the coffee, and Sue asks if he's realized the truth. And he thinks they're overthinking things. They don't need to think too much in it. Which kind of feels like Suda's commentary on this game. Don't think too much about it. Just enjoy it.
Yeah, that actually is a pretty common thing with a lot of Japanese entertainers I have seen. It actually recently popped up for Kamen Rider Zio, oddly enough, where Shirakura, the producer, is like, don't overthink it.
Live in the moment.
Pretty much.
And then
Zio's weird.
He's going to go to the airport, and she's like, there's someone she wants him to meet. He's like, no, not Steven! Not Charbonny. He's gone. Which is interesting.
Oh, thank God.
Where did he go? What's he doing?
I guess back to France.
Is he a terrorist too? This would explain a lot. Is he behind the robo step?
Yeah.
He sounds like a cool dance move. The robo step. And then we're getting to the puzzle with the turtle, which is one of my favorite pages in the guidebook. I love the photography in there.
Turtle.
Like, seeing these photos kind of makes me want to do photography. Like, I love the shot of the girl in the chair. It's a really cool photo.
Yeah, oddly enough, we're actually back to this page ever since like the beginning of the game.
If I recall, I think there was an interview where someone mentioned where they actually did take those photos and they used them for the game. Like, I would love to see the original photos. And then we get a recording saying Aleki Island is awaiting you with an unfamiliar face.
But a familiar music.
Whose voice is that?
And a familiar sound too, because it's literally doing that weird modulated speaking sound that would pop up in Silver Case, Killer 7, No More Heroes even. It pops up everywhere.
Yes. And then the nurse shows up again, a special day. He'll come with her even if she has to knock him out. What about her? She'll be here. She's a nurse. Nothing more. Now please go to the college. Who the hell is she? Is she one of the 11? I don't know.
Maybe.
Lady Ritz. The most important thing is that just whose dream is this? Once he knows, he'll be able to tackle the problem. He belonged to a small ethnic group of ranchers and herders, and they began their way of life. Then they were attacked by a man who obtained their cursed animals. One of his eyes is silver, a god. The man with the silver eye. So this could mean a lot of people. Is she talking about Kamui? Is she talking about Sundance? Is she talking about Step?
Well, Lady Red says that the name Kamui is part of this, man. So we'll figure it out.
Is she talking about another person that we're about to meet?
Yeah.
But he doesn't strike me as a god. He's more like just living a blasé life. So he doesn't strike me as the person who attacked the island. Could it mean Kunlan? Could it mean Harmon?
No, but I do. But when we do finally meet this fella, where at this point, I think if you have played Silver Case, you definitely know who this guy is.
Yeah, if you haven't played Silver Case, now's your chance. Take a boat across the island, come out the other end, and right in front of what appears to be a lighthouse, you see none other than Tokyo Morishima. Sporting some very cool shades.
And the hyena in the game.
Wait, well, did he have a hyena or a coyote with him?
It's a hyena.
It's probably a hyena.
No, it is. Like, you can go to the menu, and there's actually...
yeah, there actually is a hyena page.
A hyena page, yeah.
Really cool photo. And also, we should probably mention the bonus chapter in 25th Ward, where we see him going on a plane.
With a little girl.
No, that was the Silver Case. Not 25th.
Was that in the Silver Case or 25th Ward?
Yeah,
they added it to both. They added it to both.
Really?
Yeah, yes. I think the big one was in 25th Ward, the one with him and Catherine, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was in the Silver Case. I don't remember.
It was a PS4 release of the Silver Case when they added it. It was also in the 25th Ward as well.
I don't remember.
I didn't play the PS4 version of Silver Case. I played the PS4 version of 25th Ward.
Yeah, I had the PC one, but I also did PS4 as well.
I played it on PC and Switch, and the plane chapter of Catherine wasn't in 25th Ward.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, was there.
He's mentioned. So our man here says that he's cast away his identity along with his name, and it doesn't matter. But it seems like this is after he's accepted himself from Silver Case and everything that happened. And Sumio mentions that this is going to be a lot of exposition, but of course, it can't be helped. How's King has set up the ending? So bear with you, man. It's been a long time since he heard that name. A hard-headed old-timer once. And this guy was gay. Saving a younger colleague of his. And Sumio is like, come on, he wasn't gay. And this is how we know we're reading the European version. We should mention the US version glosses over this. It mentions that he had a thing for... How did they word it?
He was rooting for the other team, he said, or something like that.
Yeah, it's very subtle. Yeah, but this version flat out says he was gay.
Yeah, he was gay.
Sumio Kodai. I wouldn't expect you to know him. He'll be making his move soon. But now we come to the thrust of the matter. He removes the shades and we see the silver eye. The god entered the eye of a man, but it's not a god, it's a demon, a bringer of disaster. So is he referring to... Feels like he's referring to Kamui, but it could be something bigger than Kamui.
The eye itself, I think.
Oh yeah, he also does mention about what the eyes do. If there's like more than one in the same area, that's what causes like weird distortion.
By the way, I love that picture of him without the shades with the smile. He just seems very...
so relaxed. Oh yeah, here it is. Yeah. If more than two silver eyes exist in the same place, then the will of God is invoked. And that's what's happening here.
Mm-hmm. And they're manufacturing animals there, raised by a tribe called Sundance. But the silver eye is very dangerous. Rich people across the world are desperate to get their hands on one. More powerful than the most expensive riches of the world. You scoop out your own eye and place the silver eye in its place, and then you cannot die. But then you're also under the power of the eye yourself, and presumably you become an extension of Kamui. But we can mention that Tokyo seems to be beyond that somehow. Like he's existing outside that influence.
Yeah, I think it's because I think his eye is a different one. It's connected to something else, if I'm correct.
Yeah, so he's avoiding the baggage.
Like I think it may
that
be an
everybody else.
eye connected to Ayame more than anything.
Is Silver Eye or the other
I
one?
think Tokyo's in general.
Hmm.
I remember 25th Ward kind of had to mention something about it because during the Tokyo chapter, that one he's dealing with all the Mirus and stuff like that.
Well,
And then
that's strange.
that they're friends and they can do this together. And if he connects his charming partner to his eye, time will return. No need to hold back. And he's got an article in the guidebook written by Taro Turtle. Of
I
course.
wonder who that is.
Thanks, Red. Oh, then
Yeah,
to all
just-
readers of the Lost Past, I bid you a temporary farewell. I'll be waiting to meet you. It all makes so much sense once you know who wrote this.
Yep.
And then the date that he mentions is the key to the password. And then we enter the end of day 17. And we're coming to it at last, the end of FSR.
How many
Once in a lifetime
episodes did we do?
3.
3. So this is the third or the fourth one?
Third. This is the third one.
All right.
This is the fourth one we did. We did 14, 15, 16, and 17, I believe.
No,
Yeah, we
he
started
means-
with Dead Sumio. I think he means the amount of parts of recording we're doing.
Yeah.
Oh, yes. And then the interesting thing is Tokyo mentions that they won't meet again. Is he referring to this Sumio or the one from this day? Or he
Or-
also mentioned that the friend with the shades, a joker to the end. Who's that referring to? Someone very important to him. And he says he's one cool guy. What do you expect? Living forever is the ultimate torture. He wants to live his life right. He tells him to hang in there and lead him into the final day. And Tokyo waves Sumio farewell, chilling with his hyena. Zoom out, and boom, the plane explodes right over Tokyo Morishima.
God, he is a cool dude.
Sue is busy. Please come back later. She's probably disposing of the body.
No, don't worry. Edo comes back. Or at least
Yes.
Edo comes back.
And the
Who
final
knows?
chapter, which is me in 2 months, an American in Paris.
Yeah.
The final day is finally here, and Edo is back. That's probably why Sue was busy. Probably had to
Reviving.
clean up the mess and all the drugs she was doing.
Drinking all of his
And
wine.
Edo's... Oh, she was probably getting shit-faced. I guarantee it. I imagine that was probably the most fun 2 days there's ever been on the Lost Pass Island, was the days when she was in charge. I'm going to come visit when Sue's in charge. Forget Edo. Now he says they must talk. The final day. You have to head down to the lobby, and everybody's waiting. They thank
Even
you
the
for staying.
bartender.
Yeah, the bartender's got some new cocktails mixed up. And they mocked him, so he doesn't want to hear any of it. He's the terrorist. Shouldn't the final boss be waiting there? No more lengthy exposition. It's an artificial island, and there its keepers. A giant manufacturing plant where certain characters are bred. Hyenas. And it's under the jurisdiction of Elbow, the brainwashing facility of an advanced nation. So presumably that's who Edo has to answer to. But the managers discovered the truth and decided to destroy the island. But he needed a decoy, and so he called in Sumio.
And it was
So
all
who's
a
responsible?
lie.
Sundance? They don't know. So now they want Mondo to blow up the island.
Yeah.
They want the island destroyed under their own terms? Rather than letting
Elba?
Elba?
Too long.
Or maybe they're just giving up, or are they going to evacuate and move their organization somewhere else?
Yeah, or maybe, they're just they're just tired of this loop. It's like there's a way.
Sun and rain keep flowers alive. Flower, sun, and rain was Sumio all along. Thank you for staying with us. Your car is parked at the gate ahead. It really feels sad when you actually, you're leaving the hotel. Like, you really are. You get attached to that crazy place.
Oh, yeah, of course. There were so many great people, like the one who kicked us in the head, the shitty kid, the shitty father, the shitty Frenchman.
Hey, at least you managed to punch the kid, right?
Yeah.
It still feels like when you leave a crappy resort hotel, it's like, I'm not going to miss this place, but it's kind of sad to be going home.
I know what you mean.
Having been to many crappy resort hotels,
not even just a hotel, just like anything. Because I've been suffering from a goddamn horrible music festival that we had for 4 days. It was hell. Like the entire 4 days, I was just complaining and just in a terrible mood all around. For some reason, near the end, like when we were leaving, I almost had tears in my eyes because I don't know why. It's just like I'm gonna miss this place, but not really.
There's nothing worse than a crappy vacation. It's like you're done with it. It's like I could have just stayed home all week and had fun. Instead, I was stuck here.
Yeah.
I've been on cruises for 6 days, and when you're bored, they suck.
No, I've never been in a boat.
And now getting to the road, we find Ken, his car, and a purple crocodile that has Chris's avatar, because why not? Giggs is waiting for him. And Ken's a fine young man. He's the last one to see him off. And then he finally gets to drive away. And here's where things get interesting. Men with the numbers. If he moves, they'll explode. And guess who's back?
Charbonnet! The fucking French.
The one and only.
Here to stop me, are you? He's actually regretting some of his choices. He's the one who made them. Android bombs. Fantasista. Of course, they would call them that. Fucking soccer guy. Locate the mother bomb for a perfect score. One of the most aggravating puzzles in the game, if not the most aggravating. You have to go around and disarm every single one of these things.
It's one of the
basic math.
Yeah, it's not a hard puzzle, but god damn, it is really annoying.
But and coloring around is how you solve the puzzle. It's a jack and every single one of these guys and disarm the puzzle.
Like, I still don't get how he called these robots, like, Fantasista, it's an Italian word. And he's obsessed with Italian soccer, like Italian teams. It's so confusing. Like these characters, I don't know.
And then he steals our car.
Yes. So what's interesting is now you have to go to the washroom and use the facilities. But when you go into the bathroom, right when you walk into a stall, another Sumio walks out. And when we come out, guess who's waiting for us? Remy and Yoshimizu. Disguised as a stewardess and a captain for some reason. And now we get to play as Toriko.
For like 5 seconds.
And then I'll take it. And you talk to Sumio and she says that you're Kamui. Move among humans and kill them. He's a weapon and a human. Once he's released, he'll be back. A friend of his father's. And now we're back to Sumio. We see that another Sumio, confronts the detectives that are confronting him. And they're as confused as we are. Are we sure it's not just a bug? No. All the Sumios show up. A mystery is contained within himself. And we come back to it. The birthday we entered at the very beginning is the final puzzle. And now we come to it at last, the end of Flower, Sun, and Rain. Sundance Shot appears again. The island is ours. So is he the manager that Itoh is answering to? Is he the representative of Velbo? That would seem to be the case.
Yeah, that would make sense in the end, because it's like, wow, Sundance is the guy clearly going on the plane and, making it go boom.
Yep. There are 16 Sumios that carry on memories. The original natives of the island. They all have the same personality, and he has the special seed. The final Sumio has the final role to continue it to the next generation. And the detectives are as confused as we are. They don't know what's going on either.
Yeah. And the Sumio we're playing as now is the original.
We see Sundance with all the Sumios, the memories of other bodies. They each lived through one day. It's just group cosplay, as Yoshimitsu effectively puts it. So who is the original Sumio? The one who will survive. Don't forget their memories. And one day, they'll be imparted to the final seed, Step. So does this all come back to Step? Does it all come back to Amir?
Yeah.
Is this all part of Kunlan's scheme?
Very much could be, especially considering Sundance was going to pop up in Killer 7 originally. But again, we will never know at this point.
Pride of the Island Dwellers. Garcian, how long has it been? Now they have to get on the plane, and the detectives will hold them off. And Sumio tells Sundance he'll continue it, and he'll leave it to them. In Flower, Sun, and Rain is where Los Pass will stay. It kind of feels like an analogy for playing the game. Like, this is the end of the game. Los Pass is within the game.
Yeah.
So you can come back to FSR whenever you want. When you play FSR again.
Yep. It's stuck in a time loop in the end still.
And then we finally go to the airplane. We board the plane, and who's waiting for us? Peter Bachwicker. He took his sweet time. He's still on the island? Yep. Work kept him there, and he was searching for someone. Did he find them? Pretty much. But now it's time for his flight. And farewell to the island. Then
and the important question. What is paradise?
End of Los Pass. Where is the plane heading anyway? The real world. By the way, that is a nice plane. It's got a TV screen and everything.
Oddly enough, it's a quite... there's an interesting fan theory that this plane pops up in No More Heroes advertisements.
Really?
Yeah, I'll see if I can find the image.
Yeah, let me see it.
I'll see if I can find it.
Sumio mentions an interesting bit. He mentions that a paradise is a place separated from the real world. Which is usually the goal when you're on vacation. You want your phone off, you want to forget about everything, just live in the moment. Which is sometimes easier said than done. Especially when you've got the baggage that Sumio does. The plane takes off, and credits roll.
Especially with that famous little jingle and one of our favorite guys.
Absolutely. It's got a great theme. The end music is great.
And this is just that moment. I'm just like, how did anyone feel about this ending if they didn't play Silver Case?
And I did not. I played the
I
games in reverse order. I played
I
Color 7 when it came out for GameCube. I played FSR on DS, and then I played Silver Case in Japanese.
and then you get hit with pay me 50,000.
Yeah, and I was like, I didn't know what it meant, but I knew somewhere that I was being mind fucked. Because I was just like, what the? I knew it was important, but I didn't know how. This is important.
Especially it ends all differently than anything the game ever did, because it literally ends like a Silver Case moment. Which, this is where I was going to talk about with the whole Sumio thing and the whole this Tsubasa reservoir system. The Paradise is a whole separate world, and probably my idea is Sumio Kodai, in the lapse of his insanity, connected to this world, and hence why there's this Sumio Mondo around. AKA, it's still Kodai, but just a different person. It's a different entity. That's at least how I think of it.
Ah, that advertisement. I remember that one.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I had the bit. I had to spoiler tag it because it is a bit unsafe for work.
Yeah,
but...
it's pretty NSFW. But on the tin, it's like, oh, it's just titillation. But you look deeper, and of all, you see the FSR logo. You see the plane.
And it's even the FSR like font and style.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so unknown, arrogant, and amazing. But also, it's interesting is like Sylvia doesn't seem interested in Travis. She's looking kind of at the plane.
I don't think she is looking at the plane.
Nah, she's kind of looking at whoever's taking the picture.
It seems like her gaze is off center. Like it's not really paying attention to the photographer either.
I think she's just
like,
posing for the picture or something. I think you're just looking way too deep into this. It's just promotional.
We're probably we're reading too much into this, but.
Yeah.
It is fun, though. It's a fun little piece of thing where it's like, maybe that's where that plane went. It went to the real world, aka Travis. It went to the real world. I mean, Sylvia could be something
really cool. And kind of, we get about 5 minutes of the rotating plane with some really cool music. And Doctor tells him that he's forgotten. What has he forgotten? Ah, the sister's photograph. He hired her, after all. The photo could cause trouble because it deals with his birth, but he's the one he's been looking for. He's come to find him. Who are you? You still don't get it, do you? Nothing at all. There was no island and no one called Mondo. An artificial island, and the explosion was a lie. He's been used all along. He's so naive that he believed him. He'll explain it all in good time. He forgot what he did for him, didn't he? And he's forgotten to pay him. Pay him now. Wake up, Sumio. He'll take him to the depths of hell. But he's selfish to the end. And he can no longer take the costume. His memory is all twisted up. But he's better off just keeping quiet in his cell. The case hasn't finished yet. After you played Silver Case, that line hits like a ton of bricks.
Mm-hmm. Because again, it's like, and 25th Ward also puts something in perspective as well, because like, how the fuck did Sumio out?
And it ends on the Silver Case presentation. We finally see him. Tetsugoro Kusabi, pay me my 50,000 yen.
Give me it. Give me it.
The end. Go back to your cell. So is this all in his head? But it's not all. The epilogue is done completely in Silver Case style.
Yeah.
Los Pass Island, an internally governed region belonging to Micronesia, completed its tasks for breeding hyenas and vanished. The Summit of Advanced Nations, Elbow, comprised of secret organizations, successfully concealed the existence of Los Pass Island. From the hyena taken from the island by Tokyo Morishima, they were able to regenerate the next Mass Pro. And then Elbow ceased all operations, and Edo McAllister, a high-level administrator, also disappeared. The long day for Sumio Mondo has ended, and a new day for Sumio Kodai begins. See you again in the 25th Ward. Presumably.
Yes, presumably.
In hindsight, that's what it feels like it refers to. A new mission for Sumio Kodai in the 25th Ward.
Yeah, it's also crazy. It's a crazy ass game that all of a sudden it's actually Silver Case in the end.
It drops just everything on you in that last 5 minutes. So we have so many questions. Is Sumio still in jail? Did Tetsugoro bust Sumio out? Did he get bond? Did he get bailed? He murdered people, so it's very unlikely he got an honest to God release.
It could be
usually
sort
don't
of
get bailed.
It could be like he's still working, but it's like we just have to keep him on close chain.
Maybe he's still working. That could be. He's still working in an official capacity, but Tetsugoro's job is to keep him in check. That could be.
Yeah,
it makes sense. It's not unheard of.
Yeah.
They had a plea bargain. He did kill criminals.
Yeah, I mean, he did kill criminals. So not the worst thing, but yeah. Still murder.
Still murder. It's like, we're not going to put you in jail, but you're going to be working with Tetsugoro Kusabi nonstop.
I don't think, Kodai works with Kusabi. He's still probably years from him. But I think since 25th Ward is a thing, I think Kodai just works with Sakura now.
Yeah, when we see him on his own, it seems like he's kind of that brief chapter about him in 25th Ward, which I need to replay to be fair, seems like he's mostly being left to his own devices.
No, he's teaming up with Sakura. What's the surname?
Natsume.
Yeah, with her. And
which I do need to read the Silver Case 4.5. I do need to read that.
Yeah, and it's connected to that. It makes sense why he's working with her.
It's a great read.
And then there's even the 25th Ward with the blackout stuff with all the endings where you literally have the Meet Sumio Kodai one, and it literally just says "Welcome to FSR" at the end.
Yeah, most of these are just joke endings.
Yeah, but it does help. Some of that kind of stuff does kind of help confirm some things. Lost Past is all time distorted, so yeah, you can pretty much visit that place whenever, because legitimately it's in its own logic.
So in a weird sort of way, it kind of feels like the story of FSR is wrapped in a neat little bow, but if the bigger picture of Silver Case in 25th Ward, it feels like the story of FSR is wrapped in a neat little bow, but in the bigger picture of 25th Ward and the Silver Case, there's so many questions.
And hotels will become a major thing in this series because, again, Itoh would pop out in Killer 7. He even pops up in Kuriyami Dance of all things.
Yeah. Ignorance truly is bliss.
Clearly his effect is not over, and he's still working on something. And who knows, I even can somehow speculate the hotel/theater Henry went to is probably connected to all this as well, because, I mean, when Henry talked about that, he definitely wasn't out of the loony bin then. So there's a lot that FSR still has to this whole mythos of Kill the Past. But it's so surrounded in way too much mysteriousness.
Yes. So this is definitely something we're going to have to table until we get to the truth of 25th Ward and see how that plays into it.
Yeah, it's got to be another crazy one on that, too, especially with Blackout. Because there's, localization differences we can talk about. There's just so much in 25th Ward.
By the by, I was seeing if anybody had questions about the podcast, and I was checking my notifications, and I saw someone mentioning Koshimizu. And I was like, oh, good. And it turns out they're talking about Shin Megami Tensei 5. So I guess not.
Whoops.
So apparently Shin Megami Tensei 5 is part of the Silver Case universe. You've been warned. So yes, I guess we've touched on FSR, unless anyone has any closing notes they'd like to make about the game.
No, except for play it and replay it a lot.
Yeah, FSR is weirdly sadistic, but it's very, I don't know, I find it so pleasing still.
Yes. As you've seen, just from discussing it without even playing it, we still have so many things we're concluding just from reading the text. Imagine actually playing it and all the visuals. So, for some reason, you've never played the game and you're listening to this, this is not a substitute for playing the game.
No,
Go play it.
Definitely not.
And if you have played it, go play the PS2 version. The PS2 version is great.
Yeah, great music and all that, especially the amazing Silver Case remix.
Oh, yes.
I can listen to that every single day of my life.
Actually, I think we should, as an epilogue, we should probably talk about the fan book, the Someone to Watch Over Me.
Oh, yeah, that stuff.
Yes, someone mentioned a fan book from Japan called Someone to Watch Over Me, which is apparently compiles a lot of data and theories, and it basically has theories about, is Toriko crossing time to watch over Mondo? What's the true identity of the mysterious man? Who is Sundance? Who is Lady Ritz talking about? Not much here of interest, because this is mostly just theories. It's worth a read if you want to make some conclusions. Like, it talks about who raised Maddie, who raised Sue, who is Step. It's a mixture of what we know and what we can conclude. The interesting thing is, if you skip past all the theories, which is still interesting stuff, but Suda makes some comments at the end mentioning that he was inspired by a film called The Miracle of Joe Petrol, which is set in Okinawa in the Philippines, and it has a very mysterious world on an island. And that's where he got the idea. So I'm interested in hunting down this movie. So if it inspired FSR, I bet it has a similar vibe.
Oh, we should watch it.
He also...
Yeah, we should watch it on stream.
An episode of the X-Files where Mulder goes through the same day over and over and gets caught in an explosion. That sounds very FSR-like.
Mm-hmm. Just repeat and repeat.
And I think the best closing note is... Go ahead.
Oh, yeah, I gotta mention what I thought what Toriko kind of really was. I think Toriko, to me, since Kusabi was so close by through all this, I think Toriko was just like kind of an anomaly, like, because clearly it's not the same. It's not just the Toriko of Kusabi's daughter. Clearly, this is just some being that just took on her form, in my opinion. And maybe that was the thing bringing Sumio closer back to reality, going like, hey, buddy, don't go too on the deep end. And that's why he picked Toriko, because she is related to someone Sumio knows so well.
Mm-hmm.
So
it's worth mentioning. Toriko. Right. I mean, it's interesting that Toriko doesn't really get the last word. Sundance does. Sundance is the one that gives the monologue at the end, where you think it would be Toriko.
Nope. Maybe because it was part of their bet.
So, yeah, who won the bet, Sundance or Toriko? Whoever thought?
I think it's Toriko.
We don't see Toriko at the end. Feels like Toriko won the bet, but Toriko's not even there at the end. It's just Sundance, and then her father takes over. So maybe Toriko is her father's avatar. Maybe that's why she's looking after Sumio.
Yeah, that's what I mostly think of it. Mostly to get, that cold-eyed boy not too on the deep end.
Kind of creepy that you're using your daughter as an avatar, but
I don't think you got to choose.
Touche. So I think on closing, I think it's good to quote Suda himself, so I really like how he put it. He decided to create something completely different to the Silver Case, and it ended up incredibly different, and he thought to himself that no one is going to understand this game. He made a deeply mysterious game, but then he finally determined what type of game it would turn out to be, and he created a highly finished product, and he's very proud of it. He created something very peculiar, but he's truly glad he was able to release it. He's very grateful to Victor Interactive Software. I mean, it's very surprising they let him make a game this out there. Maybe they so rarely make games, they're just like, whatever, dude, make us a game. We'll release it. We don't care.
Yeah.
One thing, we still didn't understand anything.
Victor's like, yeah, sure. Go ahead, dude. Make whatever you want. We're cool. I'm going to have crocodiles. Sure. Planes? Yeah, sure. Suicide? Go for it. Bombs? Yep, whatever. This couldn't possibly go wrong. And in closing, Suda said, thinking about it today, if he was told to make it again, FSR may be the kind of game that he wouldn't be able to make.
Which, to be honest, this has been Suda's kind of creed for a long time. When he makes something, he makes sure it's like a standout product. He doesn't want to keep just repeating himself.
He makes something that, for better or for worse, it's one of a kind.
Mm-hmm.
And if you say anything about FSR, it is absolutely one of a kind.
Oh, yeah.
And on that note, I think we can close out.
Yeah.
This has been CJ Wakura.
Infinite?
This is KamenSentai, and quick little update. I defeated No More Heroes 3 with no upgrades on the hardest difficulty, and I hate myself but love myself at the same time for it.
Yay!
And Quill, who is very tired because it's 6 a.m. right now.
It's almost 4.
So thank you everybody for tuning in, and in the future, hopefully it won't be delaying as long. We're going to be planning out our Killer 7 adventure, presumably. We're doing Killer 7 next, I believe, right?
Yes.
Yeah.
Should we do like the novel thing, like the filler episode next?
We could do a bonus episode about the novel. That would be interesting. The 4.5?
Yeah, just a little quick episode about the
That'd be good. That'd be good, like catharsis. In the meantime, we can plan out Killer 7.
I got my homework to do then.
Excellent. We'll plan it out. It won't be a month, I promise. Maybe. Thank you for tuning in, everybody, and Happy New Year. And always remember, Cat's not dead.
Oh, yeah, it's kind of funny I just mentioned this. On, at least in my time zone, it's still January 2nd, which is Suda's birthday.
Happy birthday, Suda.
Happy
If you're listening to
yesterday
this.
birthday, Suda, I guess. Isn't Japan, like, ahead of you guys, or is it before
Yeah,
you?
they are.
Yeah, so...
yeah.
So
it's ahead.
technically
It's
it is January 3rd, but time's distorted.
Belated birthday. Enjoy your coffee, Suda.
And see you later, everyone.